Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in and catching our drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed.
Hey, afternoon.
You're like my penfold to my Danger Mouse, right? People will go, what? That's an old British cartoon. You know, people will figure it out. Are your headphones not working?
It doesn't appear to be.
Okay, well, we'll switch microphones and we'll kind of just bungle along with me here and we'll kind of figure it out. So let's take care of a little business this half hour. It's brought to you by Dalton Environmental Cleaning. 1-877-DALTONS. That's 1-877-325-8667. With the winter that we've had, the furnace kind of kicking on and off with the warm and the cold, you're probably getting a lot of dust in your ducts at home, and that's not good for your own health. So make sure that you get your duct cleaning done. So call them 1-877-DALTONS, DALTONS, or that's 325-8667. You can also get to them online, DaltonEnvironmentalCleaning.com. And if you haven't seen this month's Current, the March issue, check it out. It's got some good stuff in it. And, of course, there's the big Dalton's ad in there, so you can see some of the nasty things that build up in your... And you had an experience,
Yeah,
right?
I had Dalton's out to clean our office ductwork. Yep,
Yeah.
it was last summer. Yep, they did a great job. I really was impressed with the professionalism. And, yeah.
Good. Well,
work.
give Dalton's a call, 1-877-DALTONS, Dalton's. All right, well, what we do every week is talk about the news that I put up on thedailydrift.com, and if you're not going there, you should be. It's the news you need to know, and you can catch that at www.thedailydrift.com. So check it out and make sure that you're going there to get the news. Well, the biggest thing this week, of course, let's just flat see. You still can't hear, can you?
No, I'm good. No,
oh,
I'm
you're good. It's
Yeah,
on now. Is the sessions blow up, right?
Okay, I'm trying to guess what the biggest thing is because this is one thing after another.
I know,
Yeah.
it's been literally crazy. And let me just preface this show, because we're going to, at the bottom of the hour, we've got Congressman Tim Walberg from the 7th District here in Michigan calling into the show, so we'll get some updates from him. But, you know, America, you are now under attack. The shots have been fired. Yeah. This is a civil war. This is what's happening. It's happening, and it's it's not a shooting war. Well, depending on where you go, there might be some Molotov cocktails or cars being burned going on. But this is a civil war. It is now open, and it's a psyops war is what it is. Yep. And Barack Obama left a ton of psychological IEDs all through the bureaucrats, the bureaucratic structure in Washington, D.C. And that's what's happening here. And people are saying, Trump, you've got to clean house. Well, here's the problem. How do you clean house when you don't have a department head?
Yep.
Right? And that is one of the reasons these Dems are keeping these approvals from going through for his cabinet, because as long as he can't get them approved, guess who's in charge at those departments?
Yep, the old guard.
The old guard, Barack Obama's people. And if you ask them to clean house, they'll say, oh, yeah, I'm getting to it. So that's the problem. The leaks, everything. This is because Barack Obama laid landmines all through the bureaucratic structure of Washington, D.C. And it's not just him, of course. You've got your old guard, and Pastor Rick and Phil were talking about on the last show. This is the Republicans as well. Yep. It's these John McCain's, these Lindsey Graham's. You know the one that really killed me this week? Jason Chaffetz.
Yeah, that's one I don't get.
He is a complete backstabbing coward or a backstabbing scumbag. Either way, he turned on Trump in the election at the drop of a hat, and now he's turning on him again at the drop of a hat. Jason Chaffetz, you are a coward, sir. You make me absolutely sick that people would have elected you and put you in the position of power in Washington, D.C. What a gutless piece of garbage that man is.
It makes no sense politically for him to behave like this when you got people like Manchin actually jumping on the Trump train because of the direction it's going and because of the coattails that it brings and the actual good that it would bring to a political career of, getting on the Trump train. For Chaffetz to, wow, I don't get it.
There's no explanation. Either coward or he is literally a rhino, a Democrat in rhino clothing. You know what I mean? He is obviously so entrenched with the elite establishment. And that's what you have to look at, folks. This elite establishment, which runs across both aisles, it's GOP It's the Democrats, and they're being funded by this whatever. I'm taking the conspiracy hat off because you know what? It's a
You
fact
don't need
now.
it anymore.
We've been saying this for years. You've called me Tinfoil Gary for years. I'm telling you, it's here.
Yep.
This is it. The war is now. It's happening. And whether these, Trump tweeted out today, they were tapping Trump Tower. I don't know that, you're worried that he's just going off, but I have a feeling that happened. I mean, if they're saying that they have conversations and found nothing.
He's got better ties to the intel community than I do. So maybe he knows. Hopefully he checked. And
hopefully he does. Yeah. But you never know.
But
you don't know
tell how he knows because it's a secret.
Well, that too. But, but what information is he getting? And this is the scariest part, Folks, you got to understand that he's got people in the intel community that he cannot trust.
Well, we know
how does the president operate if he cannot trust the people that are working for him?
Yep.
And that's what Barack Hussein Obama did to us. We knew he was going to do it. He went ahead and did it now, and it's just out in the open. It's shoved right in our face to make us sick.
We saw the thing with the Flynn taps. There were obviously taps on Flynn. Why would there be taps on Trump?
Yeah.
Just another target of opportunity for the Obamas. And besides that, we know that Obama loosened up the NSA restrictions in the last month, last 17 days of his regime. So we know that something's going on there. It's yet to be discovered exactly what.
Yeah, and if you got opinion, call into the show. Love to get your comments, 734-822-1600. But yeah, I am just flabbergasted. And this kind of all goes back to, you gave Derek that track, right?
Yeah.
Derek, you got the track Ed gave you? Let's play that. This is, you want to go ahead and set it up?
Well, basically, this is the question that Senator Al Franken gave Attorney General Jeff Sessions during the nomination hearings. And the question is whether or not Jeff Sessions perjured himself. So I wanted to listen to exactly what was asked of him so we can see exactly what he was answering to.
Yeah. You got that one ready? All right, go ahead and play it.
If there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians, and I'm unable to comment on it.
Very well.
All right, you know what I just thought of listening to that one more time? What did Franken exactly ask him? He said, if there were any, would you prosecute? The question was not, did you have any communication? He said, if there were any, would you try and find out what's going on? And Sessions didn't exactly answer that question. What he just said was, I'm not aware of any. But the question was clearly about campaign efforts, and it wasn't about normal governmental operation.
Right.
But even then, the question was, what would you do? It wasn't, did you? And when we read the news accounts, if you don't read that quote, and I had to look for that quote in print because I want to know exactly what's happening here, you keep seeing allegations of this, allegations of that. And that's something you see Democrats do all the time. They'll change the wording to make it sound similar and make it sound worse. I see it on Fox every night.
Yeah, they do that. And here's what it comes down to. Comey and Brennan, right? FBI and CIA left in December, right? December, whenever they left, January, I guess they left. But in December, they issued a report stating there was no evidence. Yeah. Every column article you see in any paper, online or in print, they always, and sometimes it's all the way at the bottom, no evidence of anything happening. Yep. Now, let me tell you something. We know that Barack Obama and the Democrats are filled through the bureaucracy. If they had something concrete, you don't think we would have seen it already? This is all pure allegation. They're trying to besmirch Trump and his people, and this is all bull crap. This is just psychological warfare from the Democrats to try and slow things down and try to delegitimize Trump. It's bull.
Mr.
Every
Trump,
bit of it.
Mr. Trump, do you still beat your wife, yes or no? I mean, that's exactly what happens.
Yes.
They misstate questions. They misstate what's going on. They state stuff as if it were fact, and it's not, but they say it over and over, and you have to hold them to exactly what's said. Right. The truth. That's because they have the media, and all people hear is, oh, he said he did this. There must be something to that.
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. Well, let's take a break, Derek, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion. You can call into the show, 734-822-1600. Give us a holler, and then stay tuned because we've got Congressman Walberg coming up at 1:30. And, yes, we are at the 1 o'clock hour now, so pretty awesome. Oh.
No shots, no drills, no pain. Got your attention? I'm talking about Dr. Michael Singleton, DDS, in Saline. He's been my family's dentist for almost 30 years, and that's a long time. If you're like most people, fear keeps you from going to the dentist. But now, with the Solea laser technology, the latest in dentistry, there's no fear. That's right. With Dr. Singleton's Solea laser, there's no fear in going to the dentist. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's truly amazing. So stop putting off a visit to the dentist and call Dr. Michael Singleton today at 734-429-7415 or stop by at 1081 North Ann Arbor Street in Saline. Online at singletonsmiles.com. No shots, no drills, no pain.
Call Dr. Michael Singleton in Saline today at 734-429-7415. That's 734-429-7415.
The Power of Prevention with Dr. Dave Janda is brought to you by the Institute for Preventative Sports Medicine.
It's back to the future in sports 20 years ago. That's right, 20 years ago. Via studies performed at the Institute for Preventative Sports Medicine, we identified the issue of long-term memory deficits occurring after repetitive head impacts and concussions in sports. Our studies were greeted by organizations in the sports world with disdain, ridicule, and in some instances, we were blocked from getting our information to the public. Now, 20 years later, some in the sports world have come to the exact same conclusion about head impacts that we came to 20 years earlier. When it comes to prevention, caring is the first step. But for it to be more than empty rhetoric, action must follow.
For more information on the Institute, prevention, and Dr. Dave Janda's book, The Awakening of a Surgeon, focusing on the power of prevention, visit www.noinjury.com.
Do you believe the government can keep you safe? You can say it can, and you can even choose to act as if it can. But do you truly believe it? Do you believe speed limits, stoplights, and turn lanes shield you from road rage and drunk drivers? And as good as they are, and as hard as they try, do you believe police officers will be there when you need them the most? What's the cost to a country that thinks its rules can shield good people from bad things? Are we insulated from reality? So arrogant that we believe we can legislate evil out of bad people's hearts? The truth is, the government can't always protect us. Our safety is our job, because our lives are our job. And for the bad guys, that's bad news. We are the 5 million men and women of the National Rifle Association of America. And we believe the good guys deserve every chance to be safe. Join us today.
You're listening to The Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, back to your host, Gary Wellings.
And welcome back. Thank you for tuning in and joining me in the studio. Ipsiad, good to have you aboard.
Get my taste of the drift here.
There you go. Get your taste. We're at 1 o'clock, 1 to 2 now instead of 2 to 3. So welcome to the change. And I'm sure it'll take a little while for people to make that change over. But you can call into the show, 734-822-1600. And let's take care of our sponsor, Burroughs Roadhouse. Now, I was out at Burroughs Roadhouse last night. I had the all-you-can-eat fish. And they had a great music lady out there, Marcia Gale. Phenomenal. I know you like to get out there once in a while, right? And just fabulous. Food and drinks are always good there, great atmosphere. But Marcia Gale on Friday nights is absolutely wonderful from 8 to 11. Plays guitar and does some other stuff. Had a guy on piano with her last night. So it's great. And then they do comedy shows on Fridays and Saturdays. So tonight they've got Adam Deggy on, and he's pretty funny. So check him out, 810-227-6000. That's 810-227-6000. Or you can go online, burrows-roadhouse.com. Great place to eat and catch comedy and get a little music, whatever it is you want to do. Great place. Check them out.
Historic destination, right?
It's a destination restaurant, without a doubt. It's in West Brighton, so just go to Brighton.